AI didn't replace you. It just made you easier to be replaced. And that's worse. Most people think that the job loss from AI is the biggest threat. It's not. The biggest threat, the real threat, is that you have now lost all your bargaining power because it has collapsed quietly and nobody warned you that this was going to happen. So you've had no way to prepare for it. Leverage is what made you valuable in the first place, not your job title. Okay? Your salary was never like calculated or determined by your role at a company or tied to what tier you were or how long you've been there. Your salary was calculated by how easy you were to replace. So if you were a mid-level analyst, a designer, a copywriter on a website, or worked in some form of marketing, something that wasn't paid very well because of creativity, you were paid because replacing you required time. It required time to train other people, find other people, coordination. AI basically removed that entire process. It removed that friction. So management at a business is basically in a position now to be like, well, we don't really need one great person anymore like we used to. We just need 5 like average productive outputs. And average output is cheap when you have AI. So AI didn't remove the work. It removed your negotiating power. When outcome becomes so abundant from AI's productive engine, workers don't have any leverage to negotiate at all. So you just basically start complying because at that point, you're almost looking for a handout. Because the companies that were in a position to be able to benefit the most from that no longer need you at all. And this is going to hurt white-collar men more than it's going to hurt, or not even men, white-collar anyone, male or female, more than it's going to hurt anyone in the middle class or working class or blue collar. Because white-collar jobs are the easiest to replace with artificial intelligence. So therefore, the white-collar jobs have lost their leverage. Your experience, your education, all the things that gave you leverage, all the things that gave you the ability to negotiate what you should be paid have no value anymore. That's the real issue. Deadlines, they can be shorter now. Teams get leaner. You need less people. I know this as an entrepreneur, as a person who owns a company. I'm experiencing this now. So raises, they're vanishing. Companies can do more with less. So you might still be employed, but you've lost your ability to leverage how much you should be paid. You've lost your ability to have any sort of argument surrounding your schedule. You've lost your ability to threaten that you'll go somewhere else. I mean, there's a lie right now that's being perpetuated that the thing that could save you is to up your skill levels. Well, you're a low skill worker. You need to up your skill levels. That's a lie. You're being told to run faster than the treadmill. And you're going to kill yourself trying because you can't do it. You know, they'll say, oh, well, learn AI tools, learn prompt engineering, learn automation workflows, and you know, okay, so you'll go and do that, and so will everyone else. And then, you know, some kid who has zero experience, that's never done anything in his life, can do the same thing as you, despite the fact you might have been in the industry for 40 years. So upskilling yourself just delays the problem. And think about it. It is not a low skill job to be able to write hardcore physics and you know, if you're designing a physics engine and you're writing code for that, that's not a low skill job. But AI will be able to do it in 2 seconds. So it doesn't, none of this is going to restore your leverage and bargaining power with why people should pay you money. And that's a real serious problem. You know, it used to be that if you wore the tie and you wore the suit and you went to work and you were on time and you just kept your head down and drank your coffee in the morning and obeyed the rules, that you could have a stable life. That if you just fulfill the agenda of the corporation, you'll be able to have your paycheck every week. You'll be able to have your retirement. You'll be able to build a pension. You'll be able to get your 401k and your Roth IRA. And in the end, you'll be fine. You'll be able to retire. Just play along to get along. That's gone. Completely. Vanished. The old trade was simple. Just be reliable. Don't rock the boat. You'll be protected. That's gone. That's gone. Completely. Now there's going to be mass layoffs, performance-based cuts. I mean, like, it's I don't mean to laugh. I mean, it's a bad situation. And the worst part is that politicians are not even talking about it. The people who are elected officials that you have voted into positions of power to help make decisions to restore your leverage are not even doing it. I don't care what party it is. Neither party wants to admit that millions and millions and millions of professional jobs are losing leverage permanently. You know, one side will promise you, well, we'll figure out a way, you know, to solve this through innovation and growth. And then the other side says, oh, no. We'll figure out a way to protect you and we'll do like some kind of retraining to make you understand the new way things are done. But neither of those things is going to restore your leverage. Neither. The only way to do that is through regulation, labor leverage, and slowing or changing certain incentives. In other words, go to these companies and say, we know you're looking at your books and that you're saying we'll make the X amount of dollars if we fire everybody and replace them with people or robots or whatever, right? How can you punish that level of thinking? Make it less financially lucrative. Make it less of an incentive. That's the only way they can get a worker, a white-collar worker, back as leverage. And no one in positions of power in government is talking about that. At least not in America. Now, I'm not saying this because I'm trying to scare everybody. It's not about panic. But the goal is not to save your job. You need to rebuild leverage. You need to rebuild your ability to negotiate why you should be paid. Whatever it is, especially a livable wage. People are already not being paid livable wages. What happens when your leverage collapses? Right now, the people who are being paid well above livable wages, sure, you're doing good now. Will you still be when you have no more leverage? I mean, where will you have leverage that can't be automated, duplicated, diluted in some kind of way? Because in America, employment is temporary. Leverage is long-term survival. You might get a job for 6 months, lose the job. Maybe you quit, you move on, you get another job, lose the job, maybe you quit, move on. That's whatever. Jobs are whatever. But what allows you to survive throughout the course of your life is being able to make a trade, your skills, your labor, your time, and then negotiate with companies why your time and education and experience and skills should be valued at a certain price point. And when you lose the ability to make that negotiation, you're cooked. You're cooked. So if AI didn't really take your job, but actually wiped out your leverage and negotiating power, then what are you going to rely on to survive? Something to think about. My name's Tom Kane. This is another episode of the Executives Playbook. Please like the video. Please subscribe, hit the bell, and hopefully you'll continue to rock with me and enjoy these videos. I like to just discuss these things and maybe get people thinking because I feel like there's just not enough people talking about the real problems. Anyway, it's good to see you all. Thank you so much for always watching. Peace.